Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I just got done training and I thought I would knock out a video for you guys this morning. And to kind of set the topic off, the video I did yesterday in my Spartan outfit about the amino acid spiking, here's one of the comments I got. Now, that kind of exemplifies part of the attitude we get here, and again, we have all this marketing from the supplement industry and other places, and there seems to be some big misconceptions here as far as protein goes. And let me make this perfectly clear. And this might seem like a minor point, but it isn't when we get into these sort of topics. Now, a lot of people want to say that protein is essential, and to be perfectly honest, you have no dietary requirements for protein. There are no essential proteins. You have dietary requirements for amino acids. And again, it seems like a moot point until people realize when amino acids are being spiked into something that that's not even necessarily different than what occurs in nature. And it still comes down to the point of all you really need are the essential amino acids. And the reality is freeform amino acids occur even in nature. People don't seem to be aware of this, but a lot of the high protein foods that you eat have tons of free amino acids floating around, and meat, for example, has tons of glutamine. And it does contribute to the overall protein content of the meat. And that glutamine is not part of the protein structures. It's not part of those complete proteins put together. And in fact, your body doesn't even use complete proteins. If complete proteins from your food reach your bloodstream, they can actually be deadly to you. They can cause diseases. In fact, there are tons of things that kill people that are a result of, say, proteins leaking into your bloodstream in large amounts. You don't want protein in your bloodstreams that come from your diet. You want the amino acids, and your body breaks it down into the base amino acids. You break those chains completely apart. So once it gets to the absorption and utilization process, everything is freeform aminos. So the difference is really a moot point in terms of what your body uses, because you don't want the complete proteins getting through the intestinal lining into your bloodstream. You don't want that. It's deadly. And as far as when we talk about protein completeness, in terms of amino acid profile, all we're worried about is those essential amino acids. You've got 8, and it's subject to debate as to whether we have 9, because there's a fine line between essential and conditionally essential amino acids. And essential means that your body cannot produce them, period. It has to get them from your diet in some way. And there's at least 8 of those, possibly 9 out of the 20. And the rest some are conditionally essential, which means your body can make them under certain conditions. And the rest are completely non-essential, which means your body can make them. All you need is carbohydrates and nitrogen to make a lot of them. And your body, about half of them, your body can do that. You can make them as long as you have enough calories, because we make everything into carbs. So as long as you have some glucose and you got some nitrogen, your body can make tons of them. You can make all of them you need. So in reality, at least half of the protein that you're eating due to the amino acids, your body can make all that stuff that's in it. So you're concerned with those essential ones, and that's how we determine protein value, is how much is in there of those essential ones, in addition to the ratio, or you get enough of each one. And so when you see stuff like that, Body Fortress, and I'm not telling people to buy supplements and protein powders. I don't think you need them. I don't think they're particularly useful for most people. But the thing is, when they're adding them, and if you look at that one, even having the ingredients list, some of the amino spiking are the branched chain aminos. Those are 3 of your most essential aminos, in the sense that for muscle protein synthesis and building muscles, they're probably the 3 most important essential amino acids. So some of that amino acid spiking is adding in the 3 most anabolic amino acids. So, which I think is unnecessary, because there's more than you need in whey anyways. But they're still adding them in, and so when people start talking about free aminos versus complete protein, there's no difference. Your body only knows how much of pretty much the essential amino acids you get in a day. That's what's relevant throughout the whole day. It doesn't matter whether they're coming from a mix of freeform, which does occur in nature, and a lot of your foods have tons of freeform amino acids. You have to remember that, and they just contribute to your overall amino acid content. The only reason you're eating the protein is to break it down into all these freeform aminos. And at the end of the day, the aminos that really matter are the essential ones, and the others, you really should almost think of them as just calories, because your body can make them back and forth anyways out of other calories. And a lot of those just converted into energy and get turned into carbs and other stuff anyways. And that's part of the reason a lot of them offer a protein sparing effect, because rather than your body converting tissue proteins into extra glucose. If you're not getting enough, it can convert some of those and oxidize them and use them for energy. So, and it sounds really confusing to a lot of people, but at the end of the day, there isn't much difference or any real difference functionally in terms of what you need for structural building purposes and metabolic purposes between what you're calling complete proteins and freeform aminos. Because at the end of the day, what really matters is how much total amino acids you get per day from whatever sources, and are you getting enough for whatever you're trying to do of each of the essential ones, because that's the most critical, because your body can effectively make the other ones out of other stuff, and including some of the essential ones into other stuff that you need. And that causes a lot of confusion, and that's why it becomes largely irrelevant, especially when you're dealing with a high-grade protein source that's very high in essential amino acids already, as to when you start padding and spiking other aminos, and particularly when there are essential amino acids being added in, that there's not really a difference between the protein. It's still ultimately protein in the sense of it all is what you're turning the protein into so that you can actually utilize it anyways, because you can't actually use those complete proteins for any beneficial purpose in your body. They're actually dangerous to you if they stay in that form. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go. Oh.